There's nothing that will happen that will fundamentally address persistent poverty, the collapsing middle class experience, and young people whose whole sense of the future has been shattered. That our current political system is incapable, actually, of responding to those problems because it has been captured by the 1%, if you will. It has been captured by a couple thousand corporations that have a very different set of interests than 99.9% of every other business in this country.
A year ago was when the Occupy Wall Street movement started, and what that triggered, regardless of what people think of that, it actually really boosted the conversation about these inequalities and whether they matter. So the mainstream media and lots of people had this conversation. So the book really was inspired by that.
You know, you cannot dismiss this as sort of a passing trend, because the stories are people who feel trapped in poverty with no pathway forward, or they are people who are experiencing the collapsing middle class experience. They had this dream that someday they might retire, pay off a mortgage, keep a house, pass something on to their children, and that dream, for whatever that dream was for them, has been yanked away and crushed.
When there's too much inequality, there is a breakdown in solidarity. There is a breakdown in that sense of we're one body, we're in it together, it matters. And the more we stretch apart, the harder it is to reweave the social fabric that we depend on.
And so we are at a point where, you know, the first step is to have a frank conversation about what is going on, what's the picture, how did it happen, and what can we do about it?
There are ways, there are kind of like levers, if you will. We can, like a lot of European nations, raise the floor, raise the minimum wage, have a decent minimum standard of living. That's one of the ways we can reduce inequality. I think, for instance, the fact that 80% of the population now believes that these inequalities are dangerous and undermining the quality of life in our country means that there, I think, will be some new social movements waking up in the coming years. And I think that will require our political leaders to change and change the rules that are worsening inequality. Well, Maryknoll mission is the embodiment of solidarity. It is the expression of we are one body. And I think that as we've become a more hyper-individualistic society, much of that has broken down. And by people doing both the works of mercy and working for justice in their communities, remind us that really is our nature. That is who we are. It is our nature to be in solidarity, in mutuality, in reciprocity. And there's all kinds of interesting new brain science and things that now show us that actually when we do things together, when we do things in collaboration with each other, when we solve problems together, our brains light up like we're eating chocolate, and we are happier and more alive. And that is our nature. And we're sort of often told that we're individuals in isolation. But I feel like the work that the whole Maryknoll mission is just a reminder of who we are and what our potential is. And that's why I actually have some hope that we can turn this around.